Hello, good morning, West Coasters, and good afternoon, East Coasters, and good night, those who are in other continents. I'm Angela Tam. I am a somatic IFS burnout coach for mental health therapists, and I'm also a mental health therapist for therapy seekers in Washington and Florida. I'm doing mostly telehealth therapy. And um, today I'm going to talk about, I've been doing a series about our parts, our inner parts. And for mental health therapists I work with mental health therapists to recover from burnout, to also create space to market themselves and show up on social media, to ultimately create sovereignty in their lives, to disenroll from um, like mental health startups. Um, Maybe if you want to start your own private practice and move away from community mental health or some group practices and just being a part of just doing your own solo practice. I help practitioners with that. And ultimately, I help practitioners in whatever settings they're in to create sovereignty in their lives, to create like a sense of self governance, a sense of excuse me, like being their own, practicing self leadership, creating space for them to for us to pursue um, whoever we want to work with in our practice, and also create space for rest as we're recovering from burnout. And a lot of that requires nervous system capacity to actually create space for rest. And so, um, for me in my practice so far, what I've noticed is when we go inward first instead of looking for business strategies, that actually creates a lot of space and capacity for your internal magic to happen, for magic to really have, for healing to happen. When we look at business strategies, we go outwards to find um, ways to problem solve and ways to solutions to relief, to find relief. It actually doesn't help us to acknowledge the parts of us that are driving problem solving, problematic behaviors. For example, if you're trying to recover from burnout, a lot of folks um, will actually try to get busier, thinking that busyness as a default will actually help them bring more relief, because if they get more done, then they can rest faster. And that could be further from the truth. Um, in burnout work, what is required is for us to acknowledge the polarized parts of us that are simultaneously pushing us towards busyness, and also the exhausted parts that are like, I can't do anything right now. And so, a lot of folks, when they find me, they're in this junction. Some healers that find me are in their junction of working so hard, working themselves ragged, and then also needing to continue to function but not being able to. So they're in a place of stuckness. Um, and so I want to invite y'all to think about the ways that you've tried to get the results that you want. So whether it be like recovering from burnout and stop being in the hamster wheel of busyness, or if it means for some folks they're like, I want to gain sovereignty from my group practice, community mental health, and go into private practice. I need to start marketing myself to be in front of more humans in order to get my word out that my services are available. And so for folks that um try to do what they need to do to get the results that they want, I know a lot of folks, for me, the first thing I do is I start researching, I start reading books, I start listening to podcasts, or there's a sense where I'm like, maybe I'm using the wrong formula. So I just need to plug in the right formula. And maybe I need to say the right thing. I need to do the right thing as if there is a right thing to do. And I just can't find it. And so I'm doing all the research to find the right thing to do. And there that also is misleading because there is no right thing. I know a lot of folks like mental health therapists when we're like supposedly the experts in our own lives. It's so hard for folks to find that they could even be messy in their problems, to be messy, to not have things figured out, to have pain and unresolved issues hidden within. So the first is to just notice like what we do to try to get what we want, which is like safety and control by researching or trying to find the right thing. And knowing that, normalizing that we as practitioners who are helpers for others can be messy and can be undone. To have a space where you could be a learner, you could be growing, you could be asking questions, you could be um, like struggling, and that would be the norm because we're in it together. And so, other things that I've noticed for me that I believe I need to do to get the results that I want to recover from burnout, to go and show up on social media when I'm struggling, even, is that I find myself noticing my parts inside of me, thinking that my life will suffer, or thinking my parts believing that the goal is unclear, or it might be too difficult, too treacherous to even start doing social media or slow down and resting more. It might also be impossible. Like for me, I have this part of me that believes that it's so impossible to like maintain like a social media presence or continue to slow down on a rhythmic basis. Or if I slow down, I might disappoint people who are really counting on me, like my clients or my kids. Or if I show up on social media and I start talking about my family might be disappointed in me, or I might feel like a bad person, someone that's mm, like gossiping about my family behind their back. And these are like for me, I recognize that these are parts of me that are misguided, that are using like an old operating system that haven't hasn't been updated yet, and they are using old software from that operating system, and they're unaware of the present solution, they're unaware of the present situation. They're like these parts of us that are misguided, that have these beliefs that will disappoint others, or we're a bad person, or that we'll suffer, or we need to do the right thing. And there's it's unless we find the right thing, then we shouldn't do it at all. All these parts are like operating from a different time. They're in a capsule. They're stuck in the past, and they're noticing like of course that's the reality in the past, but without the update, the software update, they're unable to see that we're in a totally different situation in the present. So, why these beliefs are wrong is that these parts of us that believe, that are misguided, are using an old software. They're using information that's completely out of context. Like they're using like old tools that might have worked in those times, or they're using like the same tool for everything. Like they're using a hammer to not only put together furniture, but they're using a hammer to wash laundry. They're using the hammer to open doors and close doors. I mean, like they're using the same tool to do multiple things that are not appropriate. And also, our parts that are holding us back, that are holding on to these beliefs, have perceived fears that are based on not based on real danger, but their perceived danger. So working on those parts to catch them up, to tell them, hey, there's a new software upgrade. Hey, please don't use the hammer for everything. And yes, There's a difference between perceived and real danger. That is what is missing to pull those parts to the present for them to see like all the resources that you have, the work that you've done, and that they don't need to work so hard to keep you in stuck in the past, and you can fully be in alignment to move towards your goals in the future. So if you have goals to become a fully self-sufficient practitioner who's in private practice away from a group practice or away from community mental health, some of these parts that might be holding you back are saying, don't market yourself. It's really scary when you market yourself, you might be judged. Or don't rest. You need to hustle. You need to keep seeing clients because if you don't stop seeing clients, you'll be poor and you won't be able to like um pay your bills, and you need to see like more clients that you think you need to see. And these like these thoughts, these parts of you who are just really parts of you are again stuck in the past. They need to be coming with you into the present, and um, really befriending these parts, and with compassion and with empathy, really getting to know about their perception of danger. And the vehicle that will take them here is through shadow work, befriending these like inner parts of you that are dominant, and they're like really driving the car, and the metaphorical car of your life. Like if you have a car and you're a vehicle and you're noticing, wow, I'm actually not in the driver's seat. Maybe a part of you that's very fearful is in the driver's seat, or the part of you that's very shy, or the part of you that's very like hesitant to move towards your goal is in the driver's seat. And part of that work in my group coaching program is to create space for us to compassionately and empathetically like speak to the person that's in the vehicle, the driver's seat of your car of your life, and really asking them, befriending them, and releasing them from that position. So you can be the person that's in that vehicle. You could be the person that's like in the driver's seat of your own car. Ultimately, what we call that is self leadership, to create alignment in your life so you can move towards your goals, and removing the blocks and the burdens that are holding you back from your goals, whether it be practicing in private practice or um, deepen, if you're in private practice already, deepening your marketing, social media presence. And I'm not even pro just social media, just like really encouraging folks to, as a business practice, continuing to practice being present in front of other humans. So that is part of the work. Anyways, if you have any questions, let me know. And really looking forward to having you in our group coaching practice. If you're a mental health therapist, Asian healer practitioner who's in their early career trying to deepen their um, practices of sovereignty as a practitioner, let me know. And the link to register is in the bio. We'll be closing our applications in end of July. Looking forward to seeing you there. Take care and have a good rest of your week. I'll see you back here tomorrow for our last live of the week. Bye.